Phone says it's 6:30. Geneva Town Council meetings are now streamlined and recorded. Your participation in the meeting is your consent to the recording and rebroadcasting of the meeting on the town hall and the town's YouTube channel. Have the Pledge of Allegiance. So everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Let the roll call reflect that all 5 council members, the town attorney, and the city clerk are here. The deputy clerk is absent tonight. Welcome guests and press. I want to change something around. First of all, let's have the approval of the minutes from October 14th and November 4th. You should have received those. I don't know if we have copies in the packet, but they were sent electronically. I'd entertain a motion to approve both as submitted unless there are any changes.
We actually have 3. We have 2 on the 14th and 1 on the 4th. We had an executive session on the 14th.
Yeah.
You want all 3?
Let's go all 3.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve all 3 meetings. 2 executive meetings and council meeting from October and November 4th.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. I'm going to change the agenda around just slightly. Ryan LaFeld from Choice 1 is here. So we're going to move the sewer bid, sanitary sewer bid up ahead of the ordinance introductions. Nick, do you have anything to add?
I have nothing to add.
Ryan?
Evening, council. As you guys have taken the bid last month for the Harrison Street Alley. Well, this was originally in the original scope, which we pulled out because we were kind of at a stopgap with the past contractor. Couldn't agree on the price, and we kind of just at that point just said the state allowed us to go out for bids again, and now we do have a new contractor. We did have 1 bid submitted. I talked to a couple of the other contractors that we asked for pricing from. They secured some other work prior, so they weren't sure if they would have the time and availability to get to that. However, the price that we received is higher than what our original engineering estimate was, but it's also about $100,000 cheaper than what our original contested price was with the past contractor. So overall, we reviewed the bid. The numbers, they seem compliant with what we're seeing today's estimates and numbers, so we don't see anything that's out of line or out of order. We would recommend approval to council on that bid, and then we can start the process of meeting with that contractor, kind of have that pre-construction meeting set up, and then also getting to the point where we're notifying those homeowners again, hey, we're back at this again. The other part of that was we sent the bid tab analysis of their bid. They did include most of the information requested. There is some additional information we'll need to ask for them after this is, or if this is accepted by council, just to be compliant with SRS requirements. Nothing that we felt that was out of the ordinary or be a reason to throw out their bids. So overall, if there's any questions on that, I'm happy to entertain that from council.
What was the final number?
Final number was $105,878. It's $105,878.
Did I hear you say, or you mentioned something about their timing of when they would be able to get to it?
Most of them thought this spring. They wanted to wait to see how that would happen. My guess is they may wait until a little bit later. Just one, the wetter it is, the more we're just going to tear up their yards. But we're going to kind of play that by ear. Let's say we have a good hard frosted winter that they can kind of dig through there without tearing a bunch of stuff up. They may attempt it at that time, but those are some items that we'll be talking with the contractor in order to truly understand what their thought process is.
Do they have an idea of what if weather's permitting, their time speculation of completing the project when they start it?
My guess is they'll have at least probably a solid month at it, just depending on how slow some of it is. I mean, some of it's going to be done in bits and pieces. There's that large tree that they'll have to take down, so you might have some of that gets kind of taken up, cleaned, taken care of, and they come back in, maybe start some of the pipe, the road cut. So it'll probably be a little bit more of a process than it is maybe just a huge streamline going on one fell swoop. But that's all good information that hopefully after the pre-construction meeting, we have a better timeline for you guys. That way we can inform the residents in the area of what's truly going to go on and when.
Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
A second?
I second that. That's Dan.
Give Stan that. Any other discussion? If not, I'm going to have a roll call vote. I want to make this official. All in favor of approving Ish Construction as the contractor's bid as submitted, say aye. Agnes?
Aye.
Andrew?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Harlan? Unanimous, thank you, it is approved.
Okay, I have the notice of award. I'll leave with Tina. I just need you guys to scan me a copy and you guys can keep the original then.
Thank you, Ryan.
Once we have that, we'll start preparing the contracts for them so that they can get that all secured, so we get that through the state too, because that takes a little bit of time as well. The other item that was asked, Agnes reached out last week maybe?
Probably.
In regards to what does this mean now for our compliance plan? How does this continue forward? How do we keep monitoring, see how things proceed? Really now we're at the stage where now we probably want to take a good probably 12 months to understand and see how are your plant numbers fluctuating. We have a lot of good data from your past to kind of emulate forward to see, okay, when we got a 1-inch rainfall event, now we get a 1-inch rainfall event this year. How does that translate? What's our reduction? What does that look like? You know, what does this see? Where are we seeing with spills? Are those reducing or being eliminated? So there's a lot of factors at play that we're just going to have to kind of wash on how your plant functions through this. And a lot of those numbers are recorded on a daily basis. So a lot of that will be information that we can even kind of monitor out throughout the months of what's going on. Doug's going to have a lot of that information. I'll know when you guys have spills because he sends those reports out to the state anyways and copies me on those. So we'll be able to see and understand that stuff pretty quickly. Now let's see, we have the first 6 months, we already see, okay, there's something still obviously going on, so we can start going back to some of those old areas that we already knew about and relook at some of those things. Just as simple as when we see a rainfall event, start popping manholes with some of your guys' crew members and just seeing, hey, where do we see a lot of that clear water entering the system and kind of doing a quick, okay, yes, we still see it here and maybe this is where we formulate the next point of attack.
Any other questions from council? Thank you, Ryan, appreciate
Thank
it.
you all. Have a good
All
night.
right, thank you.
Ordinance introductions. The first one is ordinance number 2025-6 for additional appropriations. Tina?
I'm just asking for additional appropriations to be moved to MDH and local roads and streets just to simply cover the community crossing grants paving project that we were just billed for. I just need to move it over there so we're good. I think it was just an oversight when the budget was being entered last year. This is just to correct that. It's that simple.
I make a motion to accept the additional appropriation 2025-6. It's to pay the community crossing grant.
Yeah. Who was the second?
Harlan.
And Alan? Do we have any other questions or? This is just an ordinance to introduce, correct? All in favor of introducing ordinance 2025-6, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item is ordinance number 2025-7, elected officials salary ordinance for 2026. Nick?
Yeah, like the title suggests, this is just for the 2026 salaries for elected officials. So that includes town council members and presidents, as well as the clerk treasurer. Everything is the same as last year, except 3% increase across the board, as well as an adjustment, I believe, to how the clerk treasurer is funded. Other than that, same as last year.
When would be the time to talk about what I
Pardon?
Now,
For the appointed officials?
we were just talking prior to the meeting, there was just casual talk about executive sessions. Would that be the time if
No.
if we paid her for executive sessions that's outside of her salary and council for executive sessions, is this the time?
I suppose it would be. It needs to be introduced, but after the introduction, we can have a discussion about suggested changes,
Okay.
proposals, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I make a motion to introduce salary ordinance 2025-7 for elected officials.
Second?
Okay, now ask your question. All in favor of introducing this ordinance tonight, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Now you can ask your question officially.
The same question that I just asked while ago.
Same one you just asked, now it'll be official.
I said, when
question.
is the correct time to talk about that?
Now,
Okay.
all right.
You wanted a motion?
I want to hear what you want to say.
I make the motion that, clerk treasurer and council get compensated for executive sessions. It encourages people to be here.
My opinion is it goes with the territory.
Oh, we haven't had a second yet, so technically we can't discuss
Okay.
on his motion.
Well, second that, so let's talk about it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to discuss this.
What'd you say?
I just said I think it goes with the territory.
Goes with the territory?
Because they're not scheduled meeting, they're scheduled meetings, but they're not on a regular basis. They're just as needed. And, it takes up another hour. Month will be 2 hours.
Just 1 or 2 a month, an hour a month, hour or 2 a month.
And we are salaried.
But then again, as far as the executive sessions are concerned, it's optional.
Yeah, I mean, we can't make any decisions in them.
Nope. And the bottom line is whether or not you come to them is optional as well.
You have to have a quorum.
So,
Thank you, that was my point.
yeah, that's the point.
You would have to have a quorum regardless, though, if people didn't come. I don't know that we've gotten to that point. I think there was only one a year or so ago that we didn't have a quorum and we couldn't hold it.
It's fine. I mean, that gives us the option, right?
Second part of that, though, was to compensate clerk treasurer for their time if they attend. Again, my feeling is part of the job. But
I expect.
Very good.
now we have a motion and a second, we still need to vote on. All in favor of approving Arlen's motion, say aye. Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Agnes?
The motion you had there, I didn't hear.
I'm just asking now. I heard Agnes, I heard Arlen,
You heard Andrew.
or Andrew rather, I heard you say aye.
Voting
Agnes,
with Arlen.
you're voting with Arlen?
Where's Agnes at?
I said
So-
I'm willing to be part of the job. It's
So
part of the
You're with
job.
Andrew.
Yeah.
So we have a tie of 2 ayes and 2 nays. It leaves it up to me. I say nay. Now, back to we did have a motion and a second on the ordinance to introduce. All in favor of introducing the ordinance? Ask for further discussion later on?
I thought we did.
Yeah,
We
we
did.
recommend that.
Okay.
This is post discussion about changes.
But we didn't approve.
On the elected
We
officials.
had the introduction, but we haven't approved the introduction yet.
Yeah, we went through that.
We did?
Yes.
Okay. So then the next ordinance is 2025-8, the employee salary ordinance. Again, Nick,
I just found 1 or 2 things I would question before we approve.
we need to get
Oh, to introduce.
Yeah, this is treated more or less as the first draft, introduced. We can make
Okay.
changes over the course of the next month.
Sure.
Well, we need to decide on them tonight. And then
Yeah.
at first, I'll make those changes, incorporate them, then next month,
Sure.
we'll adopt the final salary ordinance.
Yeah, I got you.
Do I have an ordinance motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Now discussion.
All right. Just two things I noticed in looking through it. Well, actually, maybe three. The conversation about whether or not, I guess I got a new copy in front of me. For our part-time, hourly, seasonal, we only go up to the 4-year increment. We don't go on to 5, 6, and 7. If we're getting to that point, do we want to have this show? If we keep a seasonal person longer than 4 years, I think in my time, we've never kept anyone longer than 4 years, so this never went beyond 4. It's on page 8. So do we want, say, 5th year, and then what that amount would be in 6 and 7, or no? If we don't do that, does the person in the 5th year, because they don't get longevity, do they get an increased step up, and we just don't show it on here? So that was just my concern. Do we want to be transparent and show it, what we're doing, or what do we do? Can we increase it and not show it? It's on page 8, kind of in the middle of the page under miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Find it. Page 8.
Do you have a question for me? Is whether it
I
can be
thought you
done?
were still looking for it.
It can be done. Yeah.
Well,
There's-
if we don't list it, if a person gets in their 5th year, we can go ahead and give a raise. It doesn't have to be in here. Everything else
It would
is-
need to be in the salary ordinance to give that raise.
It would need to be
Yeah,
do
it would
that.
need to be in the salary
Okay.
ordinance. Yeah.
So then I guess the question might be, do we want to do that, or just
Do we
not
have
give this
anybody
person
getting
ever
close?
get a
Is
raise?
Don Walters close to
Oh,
getting-
yeah.
Quite sure exactly how long it's been here.
Yeah, Don would be there.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but on the next page where it says other part-time hourly, not seasonal, it stops at 7. So do we,
Yeah, after 7, then they get,
then
well,
the time,
part-time, or other non-salaried, non-seasonal, I think, get longevity.
is that their only raise then, is just longevity
You
pay?
know, they still get the 3%, if
Well,
that's what we
Not
do.
here, it stops at 7.
And
But
longevity
we
only
increase-
kicks in after 1,000 work hours, if they average 1,000 work hours per year.
So I think I get what he's saying, though. If someone's here 9 years, we don't reflect that.
Right.
But they do
Well,
get a raise.
It's like the same thing with the,
Yeah,
where you're talking about the part-time seasonal stops at 4.
yeah.
So if we don't blow this all the way out, it doesn't,
It's the
it
same
doesn't
as before.
reflect them getting a raise, right?
Yeah. I guess I was just trying to make it uniform if we had somebody that long.
I think I understand what you're
Would
saying.
would it be simple just to change the part-time seasonal to reflect what our regular part-time employees get? That'd be a simple solution for that.
But it's different rates.
Different rates, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the simplicity of it, I don't see a difference one way or another. I just need to know what figures to punch in if we're adding additional years past 4. I do see that part-time, hourly, not seasonal, the entry level is at $19.13 an hour. For the part-time seasonal, the 4th year is $19.13 per hour. So what I would assume we would just take off based on the non-seasonal rates, where the 5th year would be 1941, 1969, so on and so forth. If we did make this change, if you follow.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Good, I was just gonna do whatever that 3% is, like everybody else.
I see.
but
Okay, yeah.
I don't care. I just didn't know if we wanted to make it uniform. I understand what Stan's saying, though. After 7 years, we don't show it on anybody else either. It's just, in seasonal work, in the years I've been here, we've never had anybody stay longer than 4. And the first year started low because they were usually high school or college kids. They weren't, an experienced person. It was just a question. Sorry.
We need a motion to,
Yeah, any changes will need a motion.
okay. We have a motion for Agnes's suggestions.
I guess if I want to make the suggestion to keep it like it is, only just show 5th or 6th and 7th year, and then just do the 3% increment as we do everybody else, and just add those 3 years.
Sounds
That
like
would be maybe my suggestion. It's doing the same thing, it's just gonna show it reflected in the salary ordinance. So that's, I guess, my motion.
Do I have a second to that motion?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion to reflect the part-time seasonal out to 7 years? Say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign? Okay, any other?
Okay, I had 2 others. So page 7, and I think it just didn't carry over. Page 7, the fire department for their compensation. If we look at what we approved in September on this budget sheet that we do every year, you guys are familiar. That one says 20,935, and here it says 20,325. So should it be 20,935 to reflect what we approved in September?
Say that figure one more time for me.
Okay, 20,935 is what's on here. The 20,325 just didn't get updated, I think, maybe?
Yeah, it's just a typo.
A typo,
got it.
just a typo.
Make that change.
All right, and then the other one was questions I think somebody else had, but it had been brought to our attention to have a conversation, was the custodial work. I don't know what page, bottom of page 8. I think we have in here for custodial work, but it was town hall custodian. We don't have anything listed for the other places that evidently this custodian's actually cleaning restrooms. Over across the street and at the park. Should those be listed here in our salary ordinance that we pay them for that? It never has been listed, but evidently we're paying for that.
She charges us to clean the public fire department bathrooms, and then in the summertime during ball season, she charges us to clean.
And I don't know if we always did or not. I'd have to
Bathrooms.
look back, way back
Something
when.
like's been overlooked.
I just think it's just something that probably just needs to be added.
Since it's not on here and we are paying those wages, it probably needs to be in our salary ordinance.
What does that look like? We have 3 separate custodial categories, or do we lump them all into one?
Well, what she does is she charges $125 to clean the town hall. She charges $125 to clean the fire department bathrooms. And I don't think that changes by if it's a 4-week or 5-week month. And then like May and June, maybe into July, I'm not quite sure how long the ball season is. I think she's charging $225 to keep those bathrooms clean like every week.
Okay.
Because she only comes in every other week now for the rest of the stuff.
And this is a monthly amount we're talking about, the one here. Okay. $225 for the month for the parks. I noticed we've been paying it, but then, because somebody brought it to the attention, I thought, oh, no, it's not on here, it probably should be on the salary ordinance if we're paying it. So that was my third thing.
So is there a motion in there somewhere to pay the town hall custodian?
Well, I think it's just updating our salary ordinance to reflect that we are paying her, because we are already paying her. We just don't have it on our ordinance. So should the ordinance read the fire department restrooms and the park restrooms and reflect that amount just like it does the other 2? Page 8.
She just clean them as needed.
She cleans the town hall and the public bathrooms at the fire department every other week.
Okay.
And then during ball season, please correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't she go every week because there's ball games every week?
Yes.
And that's why it's more.
Okay.
So it would be adding a line for fire department, look just like the town hall one, and then adding a line for park, but it would be 225 instead of the 1.
Correct.
Here it says 128.75. Okay. So I guess that's what I'm asking
So
to
park,
update.
$225 per
Month.
During ball season.
Right.
We have a motion to correct the town hall custodian and Paul Field Fire Department. Do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of approving that change, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign.
And what was the rate for the fire department per month?
Same as the town hall.
Same as town hall, okay, got it.
All right.
Any other discussion? Holidays is one that I thought about talking about. Technically, I can't make a motion, but I would entertain a motion to discuss adding some holidays.
Oh, shoot, what page is that on? I've got that one.
That's on 11.
Page 11.
Holiday, vacation, personal time, sick leave.
Oh, gotcha.
Now we're at 12.
Basically, we would be adding Martin Luther King Day and Columbus Day to reflect what the county offices are not open. Second call for a motion to adding 2 holidays.
They are national holidays, MLK Day and Columbus Day, or Indigenous, is it
Indigenous Persons Day,
Day after Thanksgiving?
that's already in there.
That's what I'm saying. Is that a national recognized holiday?
No, neither is Christmas Eve.
How about Easter?
No,
It's not on the list either.
Neither is New Year's Eve, actually.
Neither New Year's Eve?
Yeah. I mean, they're not, I don't think they're national holidays. I think that was your question, right? And a lot of places don't get all of those off.
Third and final call for adding those 2 holidays, motion to add those 2 holidays.
Yeah.
Guys. I think some of the provisions that we took out, we need to keep them in there for now. Text for the workforce supervisor that we had. There are no provisions should we decide to go full-time for a town manager. We have no text in there for that. And right along that same lines, we don't have any provisions for a consultant or text assistant like we do when we call in Bill Warren for special texting. I think those are 3 things that I'd like the council to consider. Can I get a motion to have a discussion on that?
I think we're open for discussion.
Some of
Need a
the
motion for
provisions
discussion, do
that
we?
are not in this ordinance now that we're taking out, leave them in for now, like the workforce supervisor's text. The provisions for a full-time town manager, there was something in there before, and that's what's taken out. And then adding a provision for when we have to hire a consultant or technical advisor like we do when we hire Bill Warren.
Sure. Makes sense. We'll start there.
You need the motion.
Need a motion
Oh, we
first.
need a motion first.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got a motion, do I have a second?
What?
To just discuss.
Have this
Okay.
discussion.
We'll discuss after the second.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second.
Discussion?
And one of the things that I'm seeing is like in the provisions for a technical consultant or when we have to bring one in for whatever reason, we pay a special trainer if we have to, because Dwayne might not be qualified to give a specific training. But it'd be $30.91, is that the number I remember right?
I don't know. $0.30 is crazy, yeah.
What was the number?
$30.90.
3090. My feelings is that we ought to be paying The consultant, that same thing, because they're a special person we need to bring in. We've got a fixed rate that way. And at this time, as far as eliminating any of the language concerning the workforce supervisor or the workforce manager / town manager, I think that needs to remain in the ordinance for now. It can be taken out later, or if we don't use it, we don't use it. But it's there, we don't have to go back in and amend the ordinance later on to add those things.
What was that proposed rate for the consultant again?
$30.90.
But was a third thing adding language for the possible full-time manager? Was that your other thing you
That,
said?
well, that kind of falls under the the workforce manager / town manager, it'd be a title type of change.
Oh, it wouldn't be this that we just changed to full-time? Okay.
That's what I looked at. So we're adding back the workforce supervisor.
Workforce manager,
Okay.
manager, supervisor,
I
however.
forget what was moved.
It's on the first page. On the 2024-4.
That was still in the ordinance that was proposed.
Is it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I believe the only thing that was removed
Oh,
was...
that's part-time, okay. Right.
What was it exactly? I think it was just the workforce supervisor was the spot that was removed.
All right. And I'll amend, based on that, I'll probably need to amend mine.
Right.
Amendment. Yep.
Let's just make that motion to be adding the provision for the consultant tech assistant. I have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a
second for
motion,
that.
or that the 3090, that's added bill, right? Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Right.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, that's fine.
Have a second for that?
Second.
All in favor of adding that provision for consultant tech assistant at the rate of $30.90 an hour, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Are there any other items we want to discuss this time? If not, no further discussion, then I'll ask that we approve the, we have introduced it, so we know what we need to.
I don't believe we voted on the introduction, did we? I think we had a motion and a second, but I don't think, then we went into discussion. I don't think we actually
Okay.
voted on it.
Okay, you're right.
All right,
You're
okay, so,
All in favor of approving the introduction of the employee salary ordinance 2025-8, signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That's as revised.
And Nick, you said updates can still happen until December, correct?
They can, it would just need to be done in a public meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we would approve it in December, if we had another update that we forgot to do today.
Right.
We could.
What would happen is we could write it in, what's actually signed by the council, then we would update it with the typed copy to.
Gotcha.
you know,
Okay. All right.
I believe we did that last year, actually. We had a last minute change last year.
wasn't me.
All right, that pretty well takes care of all that. We're no citizens' comments tonight. We're into monthly department reports, please.
Make sure that it gets in there. Because it's all this stuff, because that had been done. And I crap.
Where would you like to start?
At the beginning.
Make a note of that. You need to sit down and talk about this. Yeah, because
What's our choices?
Do what?
That's
What's our
another,
choices?
Start at the beginning or just say, yeah, we'll go with it, we'll.
just go right past it.
As we talked about, we, all 5 of us attended the traffic incident management course. That we held with good time. We actually had a good time in the class. So we're having a class spot, just talking about how the direct traffic goes. It was a pretty good time. One of the things we did talk about, we had the ongoing saga with IT, the computers, in the vehicles and so forth. They're switching to a new authentication app that we have to utilize. That's going to be end eventually for anybody that uses the county's network system. With that, it's going to be installed on our phones. So if you use the county's IT or anything like that, that's going to, or their system, that's going to be filming. The next step is they're wanting to download the county's VPN, so it'll work through their system, antivirus, and some other things onto our phones to secure your phones, to be able to secure your computers, to be able to log in and so forth. With this, there's some other things we're doing with our phones. That's one of the issues as we go on. Our new drug test kits are now linked to a phone app. One of the issues that's been discussed is the potential for our phones to be subpoenaed into court or to be seized if we're utilizing them to take pictures or whatever. We use that, that's our personal phones. So we're looking into what the cost would be for department-issued phones for the police officers. That way it gives us the ability to download all these programs on an actual department phone that would link in with our computers. Right now we get a $20 a month phone stipend that's paid quarterly. From what we found out so far, the AT&T rep hadn't gotten back with us, but it looks like for an actual department phone that would be compatible with this, it looks like it's only $40 a month, so there'd be a $20 difference in what's paid out right now. The other issue is if I'm utilizing my phone, I've got an older phone that may work fine for me, but if it's not compatible with the county system or it's not new enough, then it's going to force me to have to buy a newer phone. Just to be compatible with something I have to have for work, or if a guy's got a standard flip phone, not a smartphone, then it's not compatible either. It's like with all of that, for the 3 full-time police officers, I'm going to be utilizing this the most. That comes out to about a $720 difference.
A year?
Yes. And that's based on the fact that, or that's based on the numbers when the AT&T rep gets back with me, if it's actually that $40 a month for the standard smartphones. All the departments, I'm spending about an hour and a half with Mike Brown the other day, and the rest of the, and the rest of the IT team was in there also. Nobody up there had an issue with it because I found out that we're the only police department in the county that doesn't issue a department phone. With the other departments, they're like, yeah, load whatever on it you want because the phone's owned by the department, just like our computers are, that you put on what you need on there for work and it's not an issue. So we did, like I said, found out that we were the only police department that didn't issue a department cell phone. So for them, it was a no-brainer. Yep, put the whatever you need to do with it because it's a department tool versus that's my personal phone, which, like I said, if something would happen or I don't know what's going to happen with utilizing the VPN with the county, how that's going to affect what I do in my personal time. If I want to look up beach trips or whatever, I know a lot of our stuff gets blocked on our computers. I don't know if now that we switch to their VPN, if that stuff's going to get blocked on our personal phones because we have to have that on there.
Now, we need to get phones for our part-timers and our reserves too, or they need to be tied into the system?
They are going to have to be tied into this pretty limited for them.
Can we get one phone to pass around amongst them people to make it work?
No, because it all has to be customized and specific to those folks.
Every officer has his own VPN or his sign-in
Yeah,
access.
so now with the Duo, you have to be setting in, you have to have they'll send you a customized, specific to you email, and you go through an initial setup, and then you have to, with your phone, you have to scan a QR code, and then I'm going in the backside of the computers and actually doing some reprogramming, so that when you start to log into your computer, then it brings up this Duo push that goes to your phone, and then the phone links back to the computer to do that, and then they're also steps down the road, they're tying the tablets via Bluetooth to the phones as a security feature. So if I get out of my police vehicle and I get more than 20 foot from my police vehicle, my phone's going to say, hey, I'm outside the car, and it's going to actually secure and lock my computer. And it's going to be, this is just a snowball of these things that they're pushing more and more security for, the CGIS and all the state and federal regulations as far as NCIC, and when we look at plates, when we look at people and do searches and so forth.
Now, the $720 you're talking about an additional, or total cost per year, that's just for the 3 officers, that's not for reserves or part-timers?
Yeah, so the 720 would be the difference. Right now, we get, it's $20 a month.
Right.
Like I said, with the department phone, that's going to take that cost up another $20 if it is, in fact, that $40 a month. So,
Got a question. And maybe this would come out of your equipment fund. What about the cost of the phone itself?
well, that's what's nice about being on the AT&T First
Okay,
Net
all
public
right.
safety governmental plan.
Okay.
Is those devices, they run specials on those, and as long as you're in the 2-year contract and the phone's provided at no cost.
Oh.
That's what I was looking at the other day. So, like I said, I'm still waiting on our rep to call back. I don't know if he's on vacation or what. But, just give you a heads up. That's kind of what we're looking at potentially to see where we're going to go with it.
So we add the cost because they're gonna need it for reserve when they're on patrol or part-timer, we're talking $1,000.
That's what we're looking at what the options are with them, or what's going to happen with the reserves part-time. Right now, we don't have any reserves. We've got the 2 part-time officers, so I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Like I said, this just came out of a meeting last week. So we're still up in the air on trying to figure out exactly where all this is going to go and how it's going to affect potentially other agencies or what they're going to do with it.
Would it, I'm sorry, the other officers are already officers. They already have their VPN code and everything. They're not going to change that just because they're working with another department, right?
As far as,
That they need a separate phone to get that identification on their phone.
For the part-time officers.
For the part-time officers, wouldn't they already have that connectivity if they're an officer somewhere else? They don't.
no, this is specific.
Yes,
This is all
yes.
specific to this build out that county IT has done. In another county, they use a $250 laptop and a hotspot on their phone, and their whole system works just fine.
Our part-time guys aren't from Adams County. There you go. Thank you. That's probably what I needed.
Yeah. So like I said, that's coming. I don't know that we specifically have to make a decision tonight. I just want to throw that out there. This is something that's coming up that we're looking.
Back on the Duo program, is that going to affect the fire department? Is that going to affect the town council members and their private phone use?
So anybody that utilizes the county's system to do things on the computer, yes. So that was one of the other things that we talked about is Geneva Fire Department, Decatur Fire Department, the only 2 departments in the county that are on the county's network. Everybody else gets their own internet and does their own thing and is totally out of that loop. I know last year we looked into, discussed what it would take to get a different service provider for the town. The police department's stuck with the county system right now. We can't get away from it because of all the securities that have to be in place. But if the town would switch to that, or would find a different internet provider, then none of this stuff is going to affect anybody. So I know I talked with Stan, I talked with Mac just a little bit, talked with Stan about it, since they're on the IT committee, looking at what those options may look like. It's just, like I said, with the county system, it's just snowballing into bigger and bigger. And
I don't want my phone to see my vacation picture. I'll show my vacation picture to who I want to show them to.
right. So that's,
This whole snafu bothers me.
yep.
I think we need to get serious about looking for another provider. Yes, Mark?
If I may. So currently today, anybody that has a user ID with Adams County through Town of Geneva, so all accounts will have a website or an email address. That'll maybe this week. Stan, I don't know if you have that. Do you? Technically, to have that email address, you have to have what now today is the Microsoft Authenticator app on a phone that's separate from the computer, so where you can change your password and do all this. This is just changing. We're not looking into the same things. I haven't spoken directly with Mike, but there's been some emails going back and forth. Hoping this week I can get Mike or Bob or somebody from county IT to come down and go through, and we can sit down and understand what this looks like for the fire department. And I think it's going to be very similar for what it would look like for the council, the clerk, and the town workforce. I don't think it's going to be any different kind of what we're doing today. But it does raise the question, if it starts getting more intrusive, then yes, it starts affecting our personal phone. So then it starts questioning, does the town need to compensate employees separately or give a stipend to use your personal phone? That's what my employer does. I get paid for a stipend to use my phone, but they don't have any access to look into my photos. I do have an authenticator app, but there's no way for them to see data on my phone. It's just for me to go get data off the servers. So I guess that'd be a greater question to ask with Mike, does the county actually have access to information on our phones, or is it just purely this app to interface for security reasons to reset the computer ID or passwords?
I'm going to be pretty sure I'm not going to like Mike's answer.
So Kurt,
I get them blocked on my phone all the time.
You have that duo system?
No, I don't have one. I have the authenticator thing. But
Yeah.
there's still other. There's other things to do. Like, some certain apps I can't, not apps, but emails I can't.
oh, the Mimecast, yeah. Yeah, we have the authenticator already on our phone if you have that access with the county.
So,
Where
to me,
they want you to put in that
this is,
password.
initially right now, I think for most of us, it's just changing from Microsoft Authenticator, which my employer runs the corporation. We changed 6 months ago because Microsoft Authenticator was not up to snuff to my company standards. We went with a different, than Duo, it's a different program. So that's the way I understand it initially for all of us. But PD has a whole different security reasons that I think VPNs are more prevalent for what the PD is using it for. So I think more information, IT committee, and sit down with Mike and understand. Like I said, I'm hoping he's going to come down this week because he needs all the computers within the town of Geneva to be updated by the 21st of November. Everything needs to be updated in the county by then. So we have a couple weeks to get this.
Add to my little notebook.
If it has, if it's county property.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Or if you access.
I don't think you access the server. You
Alex?
Alex,
Yes. This laptop would be at risk then if that would happen, wouldn't it? Because I'm using the county's Wi-Fi.
Here's the public
Public
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is separate from that, as long as you're on the public.
Now, these are the ones that get into the county servers to do work
Yeah,
and stuff. I do want to say that the stream has dropped twice. It's reconnecting and everything, but the Wi-Fi has been pretty bad right now.
All right, I'm going to give the IT committee and Dwayne, since you have these details, get together and look for alternatives that are legal, that are cost-effective, and meet the town's needs for other than the police department and the fire department. And come back with some recommendations next month.
One on down, end of the year, we've looked at trying to get some additional equipment, which we've been able to do. One of the things we're looking at for the end of the year is to provide the 3 part-time officers with a backup / off-duty gun. I know we upgraded our duty guns, however, these would provide the officers a gun to carry when they're off duty, something a little bit smaller, going to meetings and so forth, instead of carrying the full-size gun. Sometimes there's expectation that our officers will respond from home at different times, and if it's an emergent call, we don't necessarily always stop and put our duty belt and everything on. We grab a gun in the badge and pair of handcuffs and run out the door. And even just like tonight, I'm not carrying my full-size gun. I carry, our officers also carry backup guns, however, they belong to themselves. So as far as what they have, we don't have a lot of control over. This would streamline that. They would be 100% compatible and on the same platform as our duty weapons. With some of and then we would be able to service, take care, and do all of that. We're looking at probably at least a 10-year lifespan on these without any issues. But costing that out, it falls within our budget. The money's there. I did check with the clerk. We put our spreadsheets together. Our numbers match up. So, so for the guns and holsters for those, we're looking at about $1,500. Again, that's a standard across the board. Most departments provide a secondary or smaller backup handgun for their officers. So we're just trying to keep up with the times, and we've got the extra money to try to do this for our officers. That way it gives them another tool that they can utilize.
These will be off town assets.
Yes, yep, these would go on our town assets. These would belong to the town. Like I said, they would also be directly compatible in the same platform, just a smaller version of what we carry now. So that would allow for easier training with that.
And you said how much?
1510.
1510, so it's $1285 for the guns themselves, and then about another $225-ish for a holster and spare magazines for that gun. So we're looking at a total of about $1,510.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
We have a motion to approve that expenditure by the police department.
Moved.
Second.
Any other discussion on that approval? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Another thing, again, with the ongoing upgrades of our computers earlier this year, we asked for IT to look at our tablets. Our tablets were bought by Marshall Johnson when he was here, so we're looking at probably 5+ years old with those. We asked for information from Mike, sent a couple of our tablets up. Didn't get a whole lot back, went through budget times, which we got they provided 3 new desktop computers for us. But then after budgets and everything went through, he come back and told us, he goes, well, I don't know if these will even be compatible with the new Windows system that we have to put in now. You may have to buy 4 of them right now. Like, well, 2 months ago, I asked you to look into this for us, and we sent a couple spares up. Before that, when we bought the desktop computers, I asked about, if we're going to have to upgrade, we would buy laptops with docking stations to cover that cost to minimize the impact, and he couldn't provide any of that. Fortunately, a month and a half later, or 2 months later, he finally came back and said that our tablets, fortunately, in his words, accepted the new Windows upgrade, but it probably would be much more that they're not going to be able to take any more operating systems or any more upgrades. So So for a new docking station in our car and a computer, we're looking at about $3,500 a piece. Because he says it's, again, like I said, where I come from, we use reconditioned $250 laptops, they work just fine, but,
I'm going to publicly ask the question, when are all these unfunded mandates from his office going to quit?
he said that he's gonna retire in the next year. Maybe
Good
the,
answer.
Good answer.
so, but again, like I said, the computers, I know the tablets are getting older, they work right now. But again, we've been able to, we've held off buying stuff most of the year because we weren't sure, we just kept getting dangled out there. Pricing, he couldn't come up with anything. His answer was, well, it's about $3,000 for a laptop, which to me seems a little bit expensive. They are really nice. It's for that kind of money. But anyways, if we can start that replacement process, 2 of them with the docking stations, we'll put them in the cars that are that have the lowest miles, that are going to be here the longest.
These aren't transferable from car to car?
And then, yeah, so they are. These, for the most part, yes, they are, with probably some small modifications. So if we can purchase 2 of them this year, get them in a couple of the cars, get them going, and then as we go through next year, as we start to replace vehicles, then I would like to see if we could, the other 2, if we could absorb the cost of that computer docking station into the purchase of a vehicle. So try to minimize that impact, buying additional equipment. I don't know, maybe our tablets, maybe we can get them wiped and sell them for a few $100s. If you got somebody that likes using tablets.
Currently, what I think I heard you say is your equipment fund, for the police equipment fund, you have not utilized much this year, knowing that this might happen at the end of this year because you couldn't get updated information that you needed to take care of this earlier this year. And we have plenty of funds in their police equipment fund to do this.
So with the purchase of the handguns, the 1510 for the handguns, the 7,000 estimated for the laptops, and then the last thing is we got the grant. There was 1125 left, just to jump down to the next paragraph. 1125 was left for the outside of the grant to pay for that last vest that we got. So with all of those out, that still leaves me with a ballpark of about $2,000 left in my equipment budget for the rest of the year. So I've got that, if you want to see it, I've got that spreadsheet. My spreadsheet, it's not exactly probably dollars and cents to the clerks, but it's within probably $100 or so.
Okay.
Do you want more discussion, or do you want a motion?
I would entertain a motion with a not to exceed number on it.
I'll make a motion not to exceed the $7,000 for the computer upgrades for the docking stations, and then to pay off the remaining ballistic vests that we got the grant for, because that was already approved. You want that all in one motion or separate?
I think that can be,
Separate?
Yeah, I'll get specifically tomorrow, and if there's any question about the $7,000, if it's any more than that, we'll hold off, bring it back to council and discuss that. But that's from what I was sent, and again, my quote was, well, it's about $3,000.
No.
So at about $500 or $600 maybe for the docking station. So it's, like I said, that's a 7,000 is a pretty close blindfolded dart throw.
And you just
So-
tell them that's what all you got budget for?
Yeah.
Does that work that way? Can it work that way? All right, is my motion still okay, or do you want me to make the motion without approving the rest of the ballistic vest?
let's put it all in one motion.
Okay, so that was my motion, because the vest we approved earlier this year, he's just asking for the remaining amount that the grant didn't cover. So,
A second on Agnes's motion?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, call for the question. All in favor of Agnes' motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. That's all enough for tonight. Unless we want to discuss IT stuff more, so I'll just go sit down.
That's a touchy subject. Fire department?
All right. So, unfortunately, I don't have any great news, but just want to keep you updated. Earlier this year, we applied for an AFG grant to replace the portable radios. We currently have 16 portable radios at an average cost to replace right now about $4,400 a piece. So the cost of all this was, the cost of the grant was going to be just under $75,000. Waiting on the federal government to decide what they're doing with grants. Beginning part of the year, we thought, hey, we'll get this thing because it's kind of what they would consider a micro grant, the federal government. And the new president took office and said, hey, we're going to operate Doge and shut down all federal grants. And then it sounded like by July, everything was back to going to grants. And then we had a government shutdown that hopefully is ending today or tomorrow, somehow soon. So I don't know if it's going to go back to finalizing the grants and if they'll award anything this year or not. If not, we'll continue to apply for that in the next coming year. Also, in the last couple months, we applied for a firehouse sub-grant. So as we talk about fire hydrants and a standardized storage connector that makes it faster and easier to connect our hose to, in that grant would be providing those fittings to put on the hydrants, those adapters, for whatever. I think Trent's already started purchasing some for the 15 hydrants that we already went and acquired. I think he already has those, so if we get that grant, we'll just deduct those off. And that is 100% match, or 100% funded, so we'd be able to get all that for basically nothing. I don't think there's any cost. So that would really help save some money for the hydrant replacements and other things as well. Also in that grant, we put in there some of our larger diameter hose that would match to those. So 2 grants that are kind of outstanding for the fire department that we're waiting to hear back from. So hopefully we hear good news before the end of the year.
On the first one, on the radios, when you applied for that grant, you told the total and how much they were, how much of this grant pays, how much of the grant would
That grant,
cover
AFG, they pay 95, we pay 5%.
Okay.
And the fire department was going to pay the portion of the town's match from our fundraiser dollars, is what we agreed to.
All right.
So that's
5%.
kind of how that's set up to work right now.
That would be great, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we got through a FEMA grant in 2008 and they've all went obsolete. Can't replace them, can't fix them. Stan probably is familiar with this from working in his profession. So now we're trying to slowly replace them, hoping that a grant can just save the town quite a bit of money. Also, in my report, looking into getting contractors come in and quote the bathroom remodel project. So I'm hoping this week I get time to sit down with them and present what it is that we're trying to do and get quotes back for next council meeting. So hopefully the council can make a decision on who they want to award that and what that cost will be. Also, Chili Supper happened last end of the year, or end of October. Chili Supper went very well. There was a little bit smaller crowd than what we anticipated. We were anticipating a little bit larger. Bryant Fire Department had their Chili Supper as well, so I think that pulled some of the community members that would participate as well from the southern part of the county or from a part of Jay County that would participate. But overall, I think it was a great success. Again, having everything all in one through town seems to be a great community involvement. We had one category of our 4 categories that we judged that we had almost 46 kids in one category. I don't think I've ever seen that many kids in one category in my 21 years being on the fire department. That's great. So in total of all 4 categories, I think we had just under 80 children participating in that costume contest. So that's pretty impressive. Glad to see the children involved. Then also coming up this month, I was reached out and communicated with South Adams wrestling coach. They have been taking me on the Rainbow 5K run the last couple of years. They wish to do that again this year. They were not able to attend tonight, so I asked if they want me to speak on their behalf, and they said yes, please. So Saturday, I gotta look at my calendar. I think it's the 28th of this month, after Thanksgiving. Sorry, 29th. They would like the town's permission to allow road closures and barricades and use town assets between the police department, fire department to shut down roads, as well as the barricades from the street department to put on the 5K run. It's going to be runs at 10 o'clock, shotgun start, same route as normal through Decatur Street around Rainbow Lake back to the fire station. And usually a little after 11, the roads will all be opened back up. And then they've asked to house the awards banquet at the fire station, and I didn't see any reasons why not to allow them that opportunity, so I've kind of already approved them to use that. So as long as the town's okay with using the barricades and shutting down the streets, that's what they'd be requesting at this time.
Have a motion to approve this request?
I make a motion to approve the request and their use of the fire station to their awards.
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor of that request, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Good deal.
That is all I have. Unless you have any questions.
No one? You talked about the hydrants. Is all the hydrants in town working now?
Trent has started replacing hydrants, so they're in. I think you said you had 3 done.
Yeah, 3 in.
Three's are installed.
1 repaired.
How many to go?
Well,
Yeah.
Plus all the repairs?
yeah, plus all the repairs.
Depending on how you want to quantify
Yeah.
fixed and ready to go, there's 12 more that we have hydrants to put in the ground. There was 15 total that weren't, or sorry, 12 total that were not operational at all. So once they get the 15 that we've ordered in the ground, and that will take care of the ones that are non-functional. And then it's just going through the next process of the next year of replacing ones that are at the barely functioning.
So are you identifying those ones that aren't working?
Yeah, I identified those through that spreadsheet, Trent's, and I went over all that, and I will be updating that and amending that as he installs and replaces and repairs while maintaining that spreadsheet so we know what's going on.
And one of them, we got lucky over and found out that it had carbon steel bolts in it instead of stainless steel.
That's what I heard. I asked Trent, and he said, yeah, we replaced one, and it sounded like all the bolts in the ground literally rusted away, and it sounds like I was lucky when I tested that hydrant as I took the caps off to flow the water, and it was not flowing very well. And I have video of what looks like 4 gopher holes, if you ever watch Caddyshack, of water coming up all around the ground, around the hydrant. Trent and the crew went to dig that up. They said there was nothing holding that hydrant in the ground other than the dirt around the hydrant.
Wow.
So, good thing I had the caps off, because if I'd had the caps on, it would have probably raised the hydrant out of the ground, and we would have had an emergency trying to fix that one. So,
Good deal. All right.
I do have a question. As far as the bathrooms are concerned, I thought you guys were going to do some of the work? Fire department going to do some of the work, or is he going to farm the whole job out, or?
at this point, we can take on doing some of the demolition. I'd like to get contractors' input before we went and started doing that.
Okay.
Because I'm concerned that some contractors may not like if we go in and demo stuff out, because they might think that we do more harm than good, and then they end up saying, well, it's going to take me an extra week to fix what you messed up, and I don't want to go down that road. So if it's a clear understood that some of this work can be done in-house, then we will take that on.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. You.
Utilities, Trent?
I'll continue with some of the hydrants. Some of those that are not working, they're probably not going to be replaced because they're on a 4-inch line, and the line is the problem. It's not the hydrant. So some of those we're going to have to look at replacing lines before they'll ever be any good anyway. But as far as that operable and good to change. I mean, like I said, the ones on the 4-inch lines, there's not really any point in changing them. And also with that, we're going to start on the waterline project at Red Gold. I planned on starting that on this Wednesday. We'll see how the weather treats us on that, but I think once we get across their driveway there, we should be okay. The community crossing grant, we got that submitted on the 24th of October. So the last I seen in there, the update on that was they will be making announcements in late December. There was no date available, just said late December. Currently I'm working on the passing rating for the next set of grants, which I found out today that in the 26 next year, when I do it next year to fill that out, that you have to be certified to do that. The ratings of the streets, it's called a passer rating. So you have to have a certification to rate the streets, I guess. I don't know.
And that involves,
From what I gathered with what I read today, you have to sit through a meeting and take a test at the end, and that is coming up in November here, I think the 18th. I don't know if it's something new you want me to do, you want somebody else to do.
Where's that?
It's online.
Streets.
It's online.
It's online. You can, it's live in person at Purdue, or they have it online as well. You can do it either way.
since Sean's part of the street department, would be a good thing for him to do.
Good. He's never done it. He's never done anything with it.
But isn't he kind of mostly our street?
That's never been determined. I mean,
What's the cost? Is there
I
a
don't
cost?
think there is one. I didn't see anything about a cost.
If there's
I'll
no,
look into that, but I didn't see anything about a cost.
if there's no cost, both of you attend.
Okay. All right. I think that's about all I have.
Any questions from council?
Yeah, how are we at with Cody's classes and being up to date on everything?
He's up to date on everything except for getting his test taken.
And is that due?
That's due. Tina, did you ever get the checks to send that stuff in?
I've got the 2 checks that he's requested. He has to fill out his application and just send in his inbox.
Yeah, I know. It's been very frustrating. I've told him for 2 weeks now every day I tell him to get that done.
Okay.
But yes, and his classes start back, I think, the 20th, somewhere around that 3rd week in November. The classes start back up again.
So he finished up whatever it was, he still had to go.
Yes, he's got everything finished. He just has to he has to actually go and take the test.
Okay.
Once he gets that application turned in, it'll be up to IDEM as to when he's going to take it.
So it's not like the math test, it's an actual, some other test? like
It's
for-
the math, yeah, it's all inclusive, yes.
Okay, all right.
Anything else?
Nope.
Thank you.
Let's try to make sure Cody gets that taken care of.
Yes, I'm working on it.
No problem. I know you are.
Under new business, we've had 2 executive sessions regarding part-time and workforce manager decisions. I think we kind of have a consensus. If I have this correct, please correct me if I'm mistaken. What we were looking for in part-time did not materialize with the applications that we interviewed. I think we're going to change our premise a little bit and look at advertising for a full-time town manager, whatever the title we
Workforce manager?
come up with. Is that correct in my stating?
I think what, we were talking about was the
Yes.
possibility of looking at full-time, yeah.
So I think we're going to draw up the job description, and we will be advertising then for a full-time position.
We need a motion for that to make it?
I think we should have a
Make that
motion.
motion.
Do we want in that motion that we'd like all applications turned in by a certain date?
And that was the next thing, we should have the applications in place or in-house by close of business December 1st, Monday, December 1st.
Advertising for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we need for advertisement we're forgetting, Nick?
Not for advertising, I do have I'll let the vote carry on, but the salary ordinance, it currently only has the part-time position. Do we need to
We
update
would
that
have
for
to update
full-time? And if so, what are those figures?
Yeah, we don't have figures, right?
No, because we're still ironing that out.
Or if that needs to be negotiated, or, this can always be amended later. It's not.
I think that'll be one of those amendments. That's why I asked earlier about that.
Yeah. You can
Okay.
have it in December if it really needs to.
Okay.
So we got the motion, we have a second.
Second?
Any other discussion? Figure out what we would vote on that one, we going. All in favor, we say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Stop sign at 5th and Williams. Andrew.
I had a conversation with Ren Cover. He says that the police are not doing enough to stop red gold trucks. And personal thoughts on that. I think police can't be every place all the time. And I think he just has a problem with the town.
So I know there was a complaint, the complaint was lodged after we closed the street. There's 5th Street at 27 during the heavy truck time. I know the officer sat down there, I sat down there, obviously with our police cars, we've got a billboard on the side of it that says police, everybody needs to stop when we're sitting down there. He's posted a video of it, and it's the rental trucks that are coming north on Williams Street, don't make a complete stop and turn right into their property. And that was the concern, is that when the street was blocked off, that they had to drive east on 5th Street, north on Williams, and then west back on 6th Street. Or as they put it, we have to drive all the way around the block to get back on the highway. So they were concerned that they were going to get ran over by a semi in that intersection. So to solve that, they just started driving across their front yard out on the highway. When we sat down there, we spent some time down there, just like we spent time west on 116, east on 9th Street. We spent quite a bit of time on High Street. Everybody stopped while we were sitting down there. So like I said, we can't be every place all the time. We don't have undercover unmarked vehicles to chase people down in. And I know there has been talk also, Trent and I talked with the folks from Red Gold. They were looking at the potential of taking 5th Street and making it one way, widen it out, making it for truck traffic and making it a one-way east to eliminate that whole issue somewhere down the road. Because right now, I'm sorry.
Have we had any accidents or anything like that in that intersection?
So, do you have anything illegal going on down there?
Do what?
I mean, are the trucks doing anything illegal, or are
They're
they?
just not coming to a complete, so when you turn off, so the semi-trucks are Red Bulls, turn off on 4th Street. When they get down to Williams, it's a yield sign. They turn in, they slow down, look, nothing's coming, they keep rolling to go north. When they get to the corner of the warehouse, there's a stop sign there. And based on his video and their complaint is that when the semis get to the stop sign, they're not making a complete stop as they turn right onto the Red Bull property.
Just change and put a yield there then. That's a no-brainer, right out loud.
So, and that's the only way the trucks can go. If they go straight, they're in violation of the no truck ordinance. And if they turn left to go 5th Street, they're in violation of that. It's the trucks that are coming north They're just not making a complete stop and turn right into on the regular property.
But how does that concern Red Cover?
Because his mother lives at the other end of that, and when the street was blocked off, they had to drive through that intersection to get out of their house back to the highway.
Okay, but they don't have to do that no more.
Correct. But even during that time, instead of driving that way, they just started driving across their front yard, across the sidewalk, out onto the highway, enough that you could see the wear marks on the grass, so. I mean, it's no different than any other stop sign in town. I mean, we stop people down by my house for running the stop sign, we stop people different places, but again, we can't be at every stop sign every hour of the day to combat this, and we made some extra patrols, but, you know, it's just during tomato season, you know, the trucks are pretty much non-existent down there now.
Problem solved.
So,
We revisit again next August.
okay,
Indeed.
sounds reasonable.
You'll have to stay on.
All right.
A little inside baseball here, so. Old business, dog park and splash pad, we're waiting for an insurance quote.
Yeah, they were gonna try their best to get it to me before the meeting today, and they haven't gotten me anything, so.
I went ahead and called then Decatur, which I said I would, to ask about their dog park. Have they had any issues with legal things or anything like that? She said, the lady I talked to, and I forgot to write her name down, she said not really, no legal issues that she knew of. She said they do require the dogs to get vaccinated. They cannot get a pass or a code unless their dogs are vaccinated. They have to show the proof of that. And then membership is $30 a calendar year. There's no exceptions. So if you move here in August, you still pay $30 to use the dog park. She said it's too hard to try and make exceptions for everybody, and it's a very minimal cost. They have an entry code. The entry code changes every year, so when you pay your $30, you get a new entry code to get in. There are no cameras. I asked if there are any cameras out there. She said no, they don't have any cameras. The cost, she said the cost to put it in for them was quite extensive, but she said she figured their dog park might be larger than what we would maybe put in if we're going to. She thought it was in excess of $70,000, but she said, don't quote me. She said, I know it was just a really high number. So they paid part of it, and they're still paying on it. They do have a cleanup station with bags, so the owners are supposed to grab bags and clean up after their own dogs. It's not supposed to be a place just for them to kind of do whatever they want in that yard, and everybody's got to step through it. I asked if they have any ramps or activities for the dogs in that area, because I've seen parks where they get to run up a ramp and jump and all that fun stuff. She said, we don't have anything like that at this time. She didn't know if they would get that or not. So that was the information I gathered at this point. So that's what we know as far as additional information.
Anything on updates or anything on the splash pad?
Other than
I'm just waiting. for
somebody
some
saying it
insurance
was
quotes.
about $2,000 a month. I think maybe your dad or somebody said.
I think my dad had told Bill that.
Yeah, it was about
figure.
$2,000 a
Yeah.
month for water usage.
It varies, of course, but yeah,
Yeah.
average
And
during the summer months.
then, of course, it was the cleaning of the pad regularly.
Who picks up their trash out of the food can?
Different subject.
Oh, the dog thing again?
Yeah.
I think it's just their actual workers, but they have a park and rec. We don't have park and rec employees.
You have to go to the Riverside side to get parking.
Yeah, we don't have the park and rec here.
So I'm thinking we don't have all the information we need yet, so we table this till next month.
Okay?
Table it for whatever.
I got what I could get. I didn't know what else to ask.
I talked to him before, but I want to take my dog up there. That's exactly what they told me.
Okay,
That'll fix it.
so I just figured I'd report what I got.
Elevator phone, Trent. We got one quote from, what was it? Hoosier Elevator. You talked to the gentleman, this quote of $4,200 per year for the phone and the updating that, or having the elevator inspected, and I made a copy, or had a copy made of of what the scope of the work would include for that. Did that include installing a phone too? Trent, did that include installing a phone, a working phone?
No, there was a separate quote for that.
Okay.
Both of them, that's why I'm just trying to see. Where,
Is having a phone law, or is it an option?
It's a law.
the quote, the install the phone was, $64.50. But he's not sure what we have here already. So, I mean, that was just a number that he threw out, if he had to do everything new with, internet phone and all that stuff through the county, working with the county and all that stuff. So if we have a line already here, he said it would be easy, simple to do. So I don't know that he's gonna know for sure until he would actually come and look at it.
Does this phone have to be hardwired, or can it be a Wi-Fi cell phone?
I think it can be hardwired.
Has to be, or?
No, it can be either way. It
Our
can be done either
service
way.
in here is really bad, and it's really good service. We want an emergency phone to be Wi-Fi?
Well, that's,
Boy, I don't know that it would.
So my question is that before the elevator died, for lack of better terms, we had a phone in there. The phone would, if they picked it up, it would ring through and it would call the sheriff's department, because we would get a call saying, hey, we're getting a hang up or a call from your elevator car. And so that was, my understanding was that was when the elevator died, it kept throwing trouble calls, so they disconnected that until the elevator got fixed. I mean, we've got the phone lines that tie into the annunciator panel for the fire alarm, and we've got the phone that sits outside the police department that are all tied in through the county. I guess my thoughts before we spend a lot of money is to have Bob H, because he usually does the phone stuff, to come down and figure out why we just can't plug in the phone line that was in there a year and a half ago that worked just fine. Now the elevator's fixed.
So what I've been able to find out is after 2024, they're getting completely away from copper lines. Everything had to go internet. Well, ours was old copper. You know, we open the door and there's a phone there, you pick it up, you know. But because of the elevator movement, they said that there was having too many problems with wires breaking. So everything wanted to go internet based. Well, now we have to get the elevator inspected to give us a stamp of approval to use it, and they won't do it with an analog phone. So instead of going back to our old type phones, what I was able to find out from the companies I talked to about putting phones in is everything is now going like cell phone based.
We've had, in the building, all our phones have been IP addressed phones since I've been here.
May I interject?
Absolutely.
So when we started looking at this a couple of months back, I sent an email to County IT. Mr. Hakes responded, the current phone line to the elevator is analog and is supplied through the Adams County phone server. The current phone extension for the elevator is converted to analog by equipment in the attic above the police department. If it needs to be digital, we're to reach out to our elevator service to see what is required.
And we talked about advanced, I think it was.
We talked to Kings 3.
Kings 3.
$49.91 per month, total of $5,982 a year, lifetime maintenance and warranty. We don't get charged for anything until it's in, and then it goes to a monitoring service. If somebody were to be stuck in the elevator, pick up the phone, they would monitor it and then call whoever needed to be called.
So am I hearing you say it's 40-something a month?
$49.91 a month. It's billed after installation. The antenna and phone is programmed to Kings 3, and then it's a total of $598.92 a year. That's just the phone. That's not like the annual maintenance on the elevator.
So
That's just the phone.
$41.99 is not part of the 5-something?
No, that's per month. Total for the year is $598.92. And at the time they told Lynn and I, they'd install it in the closet. No charge until after a successful installation. They can use the existing line if available, and lifetime maintenance and warranty for less than $600 a month or a year.
Sounds a lot less expensive than this other one, right?
Yeah. think we invite him in,
These three?
yes. That's my thoughts, any other thoughts?
Go for it. You need a motion? I'll make it.
We have a motion to invite Kings 3 in to get our telephones in the elevator so we get that finally certified. All in favor, or is there a second on that?
There.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Tina, you'll take care of contacting them?
Yep.
Reports from the clerk treasurer.
While we're on the subject of the elevator,
Yeah.
I included a copy of the bill that Elevated sends for the yearly maintenance on our elevator. $962.70 a year. I haven't really looked at the quote from Hoosier Elevator that we just got to see what their monthly or their yearly maintenance would be. If it's comparable or not, or if we would even want to stick with Elevated after the craziness of trying to get it repaired. So I just wanted to talk to council about it since we're still.
Is the elevated,
I was gonna say, isn't that this
Um,
200?
that's Hoosier.
So Hoosier Elevator
Right.
is the limited maintenance
Oh, I
agreement.
thought
I
you
didn't
said-
have anything to do with that.
Right,
You
but
should-
this would be their maintenance, right? 4,200
Don't know, I didn't have anything to do
per
with
year.
it. So
This is only 962.
Yes.
Looks a whole lot
if that's
better.
what that is, I haven't had a chance to look at it. That seems
Annual
pretty.
maintenance fee is $946.70 from
4,200
elevated.
maintenance.
And Hoosier elevator is $4,200, paid $350 per month.
And I actually think the 962 is the actual amount of maintenance it was years ago.
That's what they're charging us is
So I don't think they
$962.70
increased it.
for Elevated to do their yearly maintenance. It's not monthly, it's annual maintenance fee.
Right.
Starting November of 25 through October 31st of 26. So I just wanted to make you all aware before and see if you wanted to stick with that company or if you wanted to go someplace else. I don't really care. Cost effective, it sounds like this is gonna be it, but
Quite a bit less than the other one,
yeah.
by like a fourth.
I'm thinking until we get a certified elevator, any maintenance contracts or anything like that are going to be deferred until we have that.
Yeah, I
table.
I think that's what we said
What do you
last
think,
time,
Stan?
too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sign a contract, I don't have an elevator that works.
Right,
You
okay.
know,
That's what I agree.
I need to find out who is gonna certify it though. I don't know who that would be, who do I need? Once we get the phone problem taken care of,
I think that's on the
Who do I
white
check?
paper, black and white paper that's inside the elevator.
right, but I don't know who issues that. or who
I think it's on
inspects it.
there.
Is it the Department of
It's a
Homeland
state
Security?
thing.
Is it?
It's a state.
Yeah, State Fire Marshal.
Yeah.
State Fire Marshal.
Oh,
It's
really?
by DHS.
Okay.
And is there a charge for that?
I'm sure there is, I'm sure everything in the state.
Can you find out for me?
I will find out.
Okay.
Are we doing a motion to table this?
Yeah, let's table
maintenance
this
plan,
until we
yes.
get
I'll
the
make that
phone
motion.
and stuff.
Second that. You else?
All in favor of tabling?
Till we get the phone
Till we
in,
get
aye,
the
yes.
additional information?
Get it certified now.
Yeah, certified, yeah.
It's so low. We're getting so good. We're good at
Annual employee evaluations, one of our Friday morning employee meetings, one of the staff said something about doing the employee evaluations, that she hasn't had an evaluation in quite some time. So I'm working on kind of tailoring them to the job description. But it's my understanding council would have to do the employee evals for your department heads. So your marshal, I'm assuming you would do the fire chief. I don't know. Your workforce manager. I don't know. When you guys do that, this is new to me. If you do it now, if you do it at the beginning of the year, when you do it, and if you need to schedule it, I just wanted to bring it up.
And what'd you do
Right.
last year?
In the past, we did the evaluations of the department head end of the year,
We had a meeting.
December, I think, or November, December.
Had a
Yeah.
meeting for that.
Executive session?
We had an executive session for it, yes, we did. And it was Marshall, workforce manager, at that time because we had Trent do the evaluations for the other 23
People are
plus
underneath them.
people.
Was it late in the month or mid-month or December, November?
We
I was
had
thinking
it done by
December.
December. I don't know if we did it November, December. I'd have to look back, but
I would say probably was in the first 2 weeks of December. Things get a little hectic.
Do
yeah.
you remember how long it took? What kind of time long you did for each individual?
Half an hour per person, probably enough.
Something like that, because we just asked, we had questions and we just filled them in.
Yeah, we had like an evaluation sheet that we
Yeah.
followed and asked some questions. Filled it out.
I had a generic evaluation form, just a generic one for everybody, but talking to Kathy at New Focus HR, she said these should be more geared towards the job descriptions. I've sent out the job descriptions to everybody except for the fire department because they're volunteer, but yet your top three
They
still
have-
get a pay from the town. I didn't know if they were, sorry Mark, I didn't know if they were going to be included or not. So I'm still kind of working on those.
So we got,
We have 2 for sure. And then whether or not you want to do the fire. We just hadn't, doesn't mean we can't,
we're gonna have 3, maximum of 3 people.
probably.
December 9th is our next council meeting. Want to do it prior to the next council meeting?
Yeah.
At what time? That's Tuesday the 9th. Does that work for you, Stan, or you, I don't know if you're working?
Was it?
December 9th, Tuesday.
I know how you all have executive sessions, but I wanted to follow up on that.
I'm working on the 9th.
Working that day?
Yep. Y'all can have it without me.
I think there have been times when we haven't had enough. We met quorum, but we didn't always have all 5 of us. That has happened.
So, about a half hour piece for 3, that backs it up to 5 o'clock. Start at 4:30. Is a break between that session and the council meeting then?
4:30.
4:30 on Tuesday the 9th.
I think that's somebody's birthday. It'll probably work.
Okay with that?
Just have some, pick that up. And then you do Sally as, because you're her supervisor, right?
I'll take care of Sally. I've already sent, like I said, I've already sent out the job descriptions that we've already had on file to all the staff except for the fire department. And I'll Mark, if you don't already have yours, I'll get it to you. That's no problem. I just have to finish up the evaluation forms and get them out. Because I want to do self-evaluations, have the employees do self-evaluation to their direct supervisor to go over it, so.
Approval of the October bank recon.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Approve the October accounts payables.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Any town attorney comments or updates?
I'm thinking more about this technical consultant that you want me to add to the salary ordinance. Is this limited just to Bill, or is this anyone who we may want to bring on to give general consulting?
I think anyone would want to bring on.
Wouldn't that be under more like contract?
That's the thing, because Bill's more or less treated as an independent contractor. You know, he's not a part-time employee or he's not getting benefits or anything like that. Which begs the question if it should be in the salary ordinance to begin with. The more I'm looking.
And I would think that'd be a budget line item for consulting fees or.
I've got Bill budgeted in for next year for like a certain amount of
If it's not-
hours.
But is that in salary or is that in like?
It's contracted fee, right?
Yeah, I figured it at like
Yeah.
500
What
hours.
do we do if somebody comes in and it's 40?
Well,
we can't
the
lock
council
down.
would approve.
Can't be locked down to 30.
Exactly. That's the more I think about it. That's exactly. And the salary ordinance is tailored for employees. Bill's not exactly an
Not-
employee, he's
not
in a contract. Exactly.
Or contractors.
So if it's consensus not to have it in there, let's go ahead and not put that.
Probably just not put it in.
Yeah, the more I think about it, so I was thinking about where I should fit this in, and I just can't find a good spot to make it work.
Okay. Don't put it in.
Okay,
Anything else?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Council member comments, updates, nuisance committee, we met today. I'm going to get with Nick next week to go over some legal things, what our options are and what it's going to involve to do that. There's some properties that are going to take some kind of legal action with bids. That's where I'm at on that right now.
Are we able to get some of the fees paid, or at least getting people updating?
The ones that have been continually, habitually negative, those are the ones we're going to talk about. The other ones have been pretty reasonable paying when we send them an invoice.
Do we have any new ones added recent? I see the last thing I see is 925.
There's two that were added today, but right now we're just starting and we're going to talk to the property owner
Okay.
and see what we can get going there. One of them's being discussed by one of the citizens with that particular property owner, so that might take care of that problem. And next, like I said, the next scheduled meeting is December 9th, 6:30 here in the town hall. If there be no further business to come before the board, we are adjourned.